Hey everybody, welcome to week 10. I always have to cheat and look at my calendar. I don't know why I cannot keep numbers in my head, but it is Monday. Welcome back, and let's take a quick look at what's happening in week 10 in ENC 1101. By the way, for those of you who are in the um, online class, who of course I'm making this video for specifically, I am going to be giving you an additional assignment. It is extra credit, and it has some accompanying videos and things to watch. We're doing something in my mixed mode class tonight that we obviously can't do in a fully online course because we can't do it in person, but it is an assessment piece that we're doing in all of the ENC 1101 classes this semester. So I'm going to give you all that information in an announcement probably tomorrow or the next day. And then you'll have the chance to turn in that assignment and get some extra credit for it. So be on the lookout for another announcement this week. But in the meantime, we're going to focus just on what's happening this week. So week 10 is about moving into essentially our final module. We're going to be writing what I've called the learner's choice paper. Now you are kind of limited in what you're going to choose to write about. It's definitely going to be a paper that focuses on persuasion and cause and effect. So that's what we're going to be reading about this week in modules 7 and 8 in the Lumen Learning materials that you've seen before. And then you have a skill drill due this week. Obviously, of course, if you have not completed the compare and contrast paper, that should be your number one priority. So that, of course, was due Sunday night. But we're moving into a new era. We are not going to go over the paper, though, the paper assignment itself until next week. Now, I will mention that when we go to the modules, you will note that weeks 10 and 11 have been published. So if you wanted to go ahead and look at the learner's choice paper, you certainly can. It is on tap for next week. So I'm going to talk more about it then. But for right now, let's focus on week 10. You have, of course, a link to Lumen Learning, and again, chapters 7 and 8, or as they call them, modules 7 and 8. Those are about cause and effect and argument. Those are two kind of distinct forms or rhetorical modes that we use in writing. In our particular case, we are focusing on cause and effect, but to a certain extent, all cause and effect has a little bit of an argumentative twist to it. So that's why I'm combining the two. You also have links to cause and effect and argument in the normal rhetorical strategies coverage in the LibGuide. And then, of course, you may want to review past materials on documentation and format, depending on any issues you may have seen in your upcoming paper when you get that back from me. There is a link to the paper assignment here as well as the sample paper, but like I said, I'm not going to focus too much on that yet, but you certainly can go ahead and look at it. We have some videos on rhetorical strategies, argumentative essays, and this is kind of a fun aspect of studying argument, logical fallacies explained. So have some fun with that. The biggest place that we see logical fallacies will be in advertisements. So after you learn about logical fallacies, you will start seeing them everywhere. So be on the lookout and be aware that that is true. And then, of course, like I said, the only assignment this week is a skill drill. So it's about persuasion and argument and cause and effect. So please take your time with it and please answer all the questions. It drives me a little bit batty, no pun intended with bats behind me, but when I see a a question that's worth 5 or 10 points and people don't write anything. So please, please, please take your time. You can stop, you can look up answers. Like it's not meant to be a quiz. I know it's in quiz format, but take your time with it. Okay. So that's what's on tap for this week. Next week, like I said, we'll get the pre-writing done for the final paper. And we're getting real close to the end. Just as a reminder, speaking of that, this coming Friday, the 25th, is the last day for students to withdraw from classes. Without getting a grade. So if you have a class that you are not doing well in, or that you're feeling, or that you are way behind in or something, now is the time to make a decision about that. Withdrawing from a class always academically is better than getting an F. So now's a good time to start thinking about that. But you do need to do it by the end of day on Friday. Otherwise, you will receive a grade in whatever course it is. So keep that in mind. That is upcoming. And I had posted about that, I think, last week or the week before. So you should know that that's on the horizon, but that is this week. So end of this week. All right, everybody. As usual, if you have questions, please reach out. I am happy to help. And I will see you all next week.